Imagine walking into a grand Baroque church for the very first time. The air is heavy with incense, the golden light of candles flickers across towering marble columns, and the echo of footsteps seems almost like a heartbeat pulsing through the sacred space. At first glance, everything looks overwhelming, almost chaotic. Cherubs with plump faces fly above your head. Saints raise their hands toward heaven, and draperies carved from stone swirl as if caught in an eternal wind. But if you look closer, much closer, you begin to see something stranger. Eyes that don't quite belong to angels, hands that seem to form mysterious gestures, and symbols tucked into corners that whisper of secrets long forgotten. Welcome to the world of the occult in Baroque sculpture, where the sacred and the mysterious blur in ways most visitors never notice. The Baroque era, spanning roughly from the late 16th to the 18th century, was about power, drama, and emotion. It was the Catholic Church's answer to the Protestant Reformation, a bold statement of grandeur meant to overwhelm the senses and rekindle devotion. Yet hidden beneath the swirling robes and gilded altars, there are layers of meaning that go far beyond simple religious devotion. Many sculptures of this era are riddled with symbols, some of them borrowed from the Renaissance fascination with Hermeticism, alchemy, astrology, and yes, the occult. These elements were not always meant to be obvious, but for those who knew how to read them, the message was unmistakable. Art was not only about beauty, but also about knowledge, mystery, and power. Take, for instance, the works of Gian Lorenzo Bernini, the master of Baroque sculpture in Rome. His famous Ecstasy of Saint Teresa in the Cornaro Chapel is usually described as a vision of mystical union with God, a saint pierced by divine love. But some viewers, especially modern art historians, have pointed out the sensuous, almost erotic quality of the piece. Teresa's body arches, her mouth opens, her eyes flutter closed, and the angel that pierces her with a golden arrow smiles knowingly. To the casual observer, this is holy rapture. But to those familiar with esoteric symbolism, the merging of pain, pleasure, and transcendence hints at something deeper. The union of opposites, the secret key of alchemical transformation. In alchemy, the marriage of opposites, fire and water, male and female, body and soul, leads to the philosopher's stone. Was Bernini encoding such ideas in his sculptures? Perhaps. The Church approved of Teresa's mystical visions, but Bernini, a man of deep curiosity and connections with intellectual circles, might have infused his marble with more than just piety. In Rome, the very heart of Catholicism, symbols from the occult were hidden in plain sight. Consider the Piazza Navona, where Bernini's Fountain of the Four Rivers stands as one of the most theatrical public sculptures ever created. At first glance, it is a grand celebration of the world's great rivers: the Nile, the Ganges, the Danube, and the Rio de la Plata. But look closer at the Nile, carved with his head veiled, symbolizing the unknown source of the river. This veiling is not just geographical ignorance. It is also a classic occult motif, representing hidden knowledge, the mysteries of nature not yet revealed. The obelisk towering above the fountain, taken from ancient Egypt, points directly toward the heavens, a reminder of the enduring fascination with Egyptian magic and solar symbolism. The whole monument becomes more than just a fountain. It transforms into a cosmological diagram, an interplay of earth, water, and the eternal striving toward the divine light. And Bernini was not alone. Across Europe, sculptors and architects were embedding similar ideas into their works. In Bavaria, the Assam brothers, Egid Quirin and Cosmas Damian, created churches so overloaded with symbolism that stepping inside feels like entering an alchemical laboratory disguised as a chapel. Their Kirche in Munich, though tiny, is filled with swirling figures, golden light, and a sense of theatrical intimacy. Among the angelic hosts, you can find gestures and symbols that align more with the Hermetic tradition than with straightforward Catholic theology. The blending of light and darkness, of death and rebirth, echoes alchemical themes of transformation. To the faithful, it was breathtaking. To the initiated, it was a code. One of the most striking aspects of Baroque sculpture is the use of gesture. Saints, angels, and even devils are not just frozen in marble. Their hands form signs. Their bodies twist into poses that recall both religious and esoteric traditions. The mano pantea, a hand gesture with two fingers raised and two bent, was used in Christian iconography as a blessing. But its roots lie in far older pagan traditions, symbolizing the union of opposites and the transmission of hidden power. In Baroque art, such gestures were everywhere, simultaneously proclaiming Christian orthodoxy and whispering of ancient mysteries. Was this deliberate? Almost certainly. Artists were well versed in the language of symbols, and patrons often demanded works that resonated on multiple levels. appealing to the masses, but also to the elite circles hungry for deeper knowledge. Let's not forget the influence of Freemasonry and secret societies, which grew in prominence during the Baroque and Enlightenment periods. Although direct evidence of Masonic influence in early Baroque sculpture is scarce, the shared fascination with geometry, hidden order, and allegory is undeniable. Sculptures often played with the balance of chaos and harmony, disorder and symmetry, reflecting the same search for cosmic truth that fueled both occultists and architects. The spiraling Solomonic columns of St. Peter's Baldachin, designed by Bernini, are not just decorative. They echo the columns of Solomon's Temple, central to Masonic and Hermetic traditions. The twisting motion itself suggests ascension, the spiraling of the soul toward enlightenment. Travel north and you find similar patterns in Central Europe. In Prague, a city long associated with alchemy and mysticism, Baroque sculptures line the Charles Bridge, each one a theatrical tableau in stone. Among them is the statue of St. John of Nepomuk, with 5 stars circling his head. To most visitors, the stars symbolize the legend of his martyrdom, when 5 stars appeared in the river after his death. But 5 is no ordinary number. It is the number of the microcosm, of man, echoing the pentagram, one of the most powerful symbols in occult tradition. Whether intentional or not, the association would not have been lost on those steeped in esoteric lore. Prague was, after all, the city of Emperor Rudolf II, whose court in the previous century was a hub of alchemists, magicians, and seekers of secret wisdom. What makes the occult in Baroque sculpture so fascinating is the very ambiguity of it. Were these symbols deliberately placed as secret codes? Or are we projecting modern ideas onto artworks that were simply meant to inspire awe? The truth is likely somewhere in between. Baroque artists were masters of multi-layered meaning. They lived in a world where religion, science, and magic were not sharply divided, but often overlapped. Astrology was practiced alongside astronomy, alchemy alongside chemistry, mysticism alongside theology. In such a climate, it is only natural that their art would reflect the complexity of their worldview. Imagine standing before a sculpture in a dimly lit church, the candlelight making the marble seem alive. You see a skull, a common memento mori reminding you of death. But then next to it, a butterfly carved into the drapery. To most, it is a decoration. To others, it is the soul, the psyche, reborn after death. Together, skull and butterfly tell a secret story of mortality and transformation, an alchemical lesson in stone. This is the magic of Baroque sculpture. The ability to speak simultaneously to the eye, the heart, and the hidden knowledge within. The occult is not about cheap tricks or dark conspiracies in this context. It is about the pursuit of hidden knowledge, the idea that the world is layered with meaning, that symbols can open doors to greater understanding. Baroque artists, whether consciously or unconsciously, infused their work with this spirit, and once you learn to see it, you cannot unsee it. Every cherub's smile, every drapery fold, every carved hand gesture becomes a possible clue. The church is no longer just a place of worship. It is a theater of mysteries, a stage for eternal truths. So next time you find yourself wandering through Rome, Munich, or Prague, pause for a moment in front of those dizzying sculptures. Look beyond the gold, beyond the theatrical poses, and ask yourself, what are they really saying? Because behind the marble and the myth, behind the saints and the angels, lies a whisper that has echoed through centuries, that art is never just what it seems. It is a puzzle, a riddle, a gateway into the unknown. And perhaps in that silence, you too will hear it, the call of the hidden, the pull of the occult, forever carved into stone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Share this video with a friend who loves a good mystery. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next story. There's a lot more to uncover, and I'd love to have you along for the journey.